the amount of kindness that is in that comment, because she went out and found what I needed and sent it to me. I didn't have to go and find it. Hi, welcome back to Lakeside Quilt Making Arts, or welcome if this is your first time. I am Dawn at the lake, and we're here to do some applique. My initial thought was that I was going to get all of the applique pieces ready before I sat down to do the appliquing, before I sat down at the machine or by hand to do any of the applique stitches. However, if you've watched any of my last, I think, 2 videos, or at least the last video, looking down is not my friend right now. I am freshly recovering from a surgery to have some screws removed and have some instabilities in this area, and I was told not to look down. I did look down in the video 2 videos ago, and it caused me a lot of pain. So I'm realizing that I should actually listen to my doctor. So I'm not going to work anymore on right now at the moment on getting any more pieces put together. I'm going to just take the pieces I have, and since I really don't have all my stamina back yet from the surgery, I'm just going to get them ready so I can sit down in my comfy chair and, let my dog be at my feet. If you were around when I first got Ruby, you know that I said I don't like any animals on my furniture. Well, that was before I met Ruby. There is no keeping Ruby from cuddling with you. It would be an absolute cruel thing to do to keep that dog from cuddling with you. She gets on my chair with me. She gets on the sofa. I have the sofa covered, so she has free reign with it, but she can only get on my chair if I'm in it, and then I have a blanket over me so I'm not getting dog hair on me. I know she's adorable, but let's get back to talking about applique. I was gonna just machine applique so I could come back behind later and do some really fancy stitches by hand or even by machine. But like I said, my stamina isn't where I want it to be. So I need to compromise or not do anything. So not doing anything does not compute in my world, because if you know anything about me, I'm all about #moving the needle, right? So I'm going to get these pieces ready to sit down and just chill. Applique, handwork in general is just perfect for it. But first I want to point out 2 things to you guys. One is, before I forget to tell you about it, is about my tabletop. And the other one is about a comment I got from one of the viewers on the video that I put out. I think it was the video that I put out on the 21st, but I got a response to that video that was very helpful. And so we're going to go over that response. But first, let's talk about this tabletop. I talked about it in the last video, the one where we featured Cheri. And if you've not seen that one, please go and watch it and look at what she's doing. She's got a great attitude towards her quilt making, and I love it. I really do, because it is, and I'm going to be able to do something similar actually, because one of the things that's making her work so unique is that she's pulling, her scrappy quilts are pulled from generations, like 40 years worth of her fabric hauls. She's got stashes everywhere. Well, I was just given, and I'm looking at it over here, I was just given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes of fabric back that's tightly packed from my daughter. Given it to her at some point. I have looked through some of the boxes enough to kind of get a feel for what's in there. Part of it's like a memory lane, and part of it's like, I'm going to a fabric store for the first time. Well, when you've got fabric that no one else can find, and you put it with contemporary fabrics, like what we can get today, then you get some really unique scrappy pieces. Maybe some of you will remember from that last video, Cheri was about to start working on a Pokemon quilt that used fabric from when her son was just a little boy, and he's now 35. Well, she did exactly what she said she was going to do. She started to work on it. This is where she got in just 2 or 3 days' time. I don't know how she can be so prolific. She's got this awesome box on the back of it. And, you know, these fabrics come from 40 years ago and they come from today. And that's why her pieces look so great. So going back to the fox, though, that is the back of the quilt. She wanted to make sure that she didn't have quilting lines for the Pokemon side that covered the fox's face. So we talked back and forth, and I kind of suggested she quilted it as if the fox is the front side. Not quite sure what she did. Maybe she'll show us whenever she gets it all done. I just think it's very impressive that she's doing so much in such a quick amount of time, since I'm a straggler. So I think next time I do some kind of quilt like this, pick a petal, I might just do it out of all of my old scrappy stuff, and see what comes out of it. And then I might not treat it quite as emotionally. I might not treat it as preciously as I was initially with this quilt. And I maybe still am a little bit, because I think this is going to be a great gift for my granddaughter who's turning 1, and I want it to be special and be on her bed throughout her growing up years. So I really wanted to, showcase my love for her and my handwork, because it's going to be something integrated into her day-to-day life. So I was holding it too precious. But if I'm going to do something like this next year, or once this is done and I start up some other sampler or some other big block of the month program, if I take it from all of my stash fabric and just allow myself to be free with it, I might not get so hung up like I have with this quilt, with this pick a petal quilt, mostly with the applique. The applique has given me a run for my money. No, that's not true. It has given me pause, that to realize I had a lot to learn. I didn't know how to handle my curves, my inside curves, my outside curves. I didn't know how to handle my points or my inside points, and it was just a learning curve. How to do the templates, how not to do the templates. Well, I can talk about that in just a second. Let's get back to talking about this tabletop. And because I did mention this in the last video, this is not done. I'm going to give you a couple of close-up pictures. It is not done. It's not painted or anything. My son is actually in town in Huntsville, and he's going to pick up another one of these tabletops. So the table that it's sitting on is 48 inches, and this is 36 inches. So I've divided it in half so that I have a little bit of space on this left side. And then on this side, I have my iron. Everything works out. That's just fine. But my son is in town, and while he's in town, he's going to pick up another one of these tabletops. This is higher. You can see it comes to like right underneath the arms, which is a great height for me. But what I need is for it to be tilted up now. You can see if I tilt this, it's going to fall. So let me just kind of tilt this. I need it to be kind of like at this angle. So I'm going to get another piece of wood and put a piano hinge on it so that it will tilt up. How I will keep it tilted up without it falling back down, I have a few thoughts on that, and I haven't pinpointed that yet, so I can't talk about it, but not without taking you down some roads that are going to go nowhere. So hang on a second. I just went to get my laptop so I could look up the comment that I was referencing to you guys. I can't make out how to pronounce the name of this YouTube channel. It starts with an O. So if you go back to my video that says Fancy Applique Stitches and you look down to the comment that starts with an O, you'll see it. But she says, I have never seen anyone cut away fabric at the corners of applique pieces as you do in the 35 years that I've been quilting. Watching your latest videos compelled me to find a YouTube video that might help you better than a long-winded explanation from me. Isn't that kind? Applique Like a Pro, Part 1 of 4, Rectangles and Applique Basics from Missouri Star, December 14th, 2012 at 1918. In other words, at the timestamp 1918. Ignore that she uses a paper template that she's going to leave in. In your case, you would just press the seam allowances over your square and rectangle. Heat resistant templates with some starch, then they will retain their shape and the integrity of the corners will not be compromised. Quilting cottons do not make for bulky edges at the corners. Hope this is helpful. I can't tell you how helpful that was. Number one, I just got finished watching. I went to the Missouri Star YouTube channel and I went back and I found that particular video that she's referencing. And it is one of 4, and I've watched all 4 earlier this afternoon. And it was very helpful. It was like all the angels came out and sang kind of helpful. Because if you're struggling with any of your applique, that 4-part set of videos with Missouri Star, and this is a while ago, December 2012 was the first one. So their videoing style is not as pristine as it is now. They don't have cameras exactly where they need to have them, that kind of thing. But it was still a very informative video, very much so. It hit on all the things I needed. Now, also, I've been learning from watching Sewing with Nancy, which is another, almost ancient set of videos, compared to what we have now these days. But that's been very helpful. And I plan on doing kind of a deep dive of watching all of Sewing with Nancy's appliques. And I think she says there's 13 different types of applique. It's like, oh my gosh. Anyway, going back to Missouri Star. So go and watch that set of videos. There's 4 of them. And you'll understand what I'm talking about. It was just, if you're struggling at all, if you already know what you're doing, don't worry about it. But if you're like me and you are not having the confidence about how to handle anything, it will help you with your confidence. And this commenter helped me. It was like a stress just washed away from me. It was somebody seeing that I was stressing about it, and she just leaned in to give me some guidance. It's like, thank you. I was overwhelmed about even trying to figure out where to go look. YouTube is a fantastic place to go and find anything you want, right? You can find a YouTube video on, how to have your toilet paper, come off the top or come off the back side. Any minute thing, right? You can find a YouTube video for it. But that's also part of the problem. It's like, there's a gazillion videos out there about applique. How do I know which one is worth my time and effort? Because I'm kind of overwhelmed these days, which I've been telling you guys about, between the surgery and having my son here, which is fantastic. I love it. But it's just a change of my normal life. It's extra, there's someone to talk to and engage with and do things with. So it's takes up time, right? Takes up mental capacity. So it takes me away from, what I would normally be doing. So the idea of adding into my life a research effort too, she went out and did it. She went out and found exactly the videos I needed to watch. So I'm assuming it's a woman. So go and look for the YouTube channel that starts with an O and ends with 6287. And you'll just see the amount of kindness that is in that comment, because she went out and found what I needed and sent it to me. I didn't have to go and find it, which was just, it doesn't sound like much, but when you've got a lot on your plate, someone acting in that kind of kindness for you is significant. And it was for me. It really was. And then the next one that was really very helpful to me was, it's double DNI. So it's DBLE, And she says, "Hi, Dawn, glad you're recovering well. Applique techniques are particular to each sewist." That also, which is like stress rolling off the back. It's like, in other words, you have permission, Dawn, to do it the way you want to do it. So I'm hoping that by me sharing this process, this emotional growth through applique, that is also going to help some of you out there too. It is okay to do it your way. And it is a journey for all of us. We have to learn the different techniques and then find which one works for us. And there really isn't a wrong way if it works for us. So I'm just thrilled to have gotten the help from you guys that I have. And also something else that really touches my heart, in that video that I have featured Cheri, all of you guys were loving on her and saying hi to her and telling her what a good job she was doing. And I want to thank you for that, because it was very heartwarming. It was like you guys saw what I was seeing, that here's a woman who's just a quilter like you and I, who has spent her professional life putting her life on the line as a firefighter, and she's doing a great job quilting too. And to see you guys recognizing that, and leaning into her and to motivate and encourage her and to, give her that response and that feedback that y'all see her, I just was very touched by that. So thank you all for doing that. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today, was my direction that I'm taking for this week. I am tired, so, sitting down and doing some applique is probably what the doctor ordered. I'm only 2 weeks out from surgery, 2 weeks and 2 days, and, and been far more active than I would have expected to be after surgery. Chris and I have been going pretty hard at it, trying to figure out what we're going to be doing in the backyard, how we're going to put in a big pond for fish and for aqua plants. We've either been out in the sun or we've been in a Lowe's or Home Depot. We're pretty excited about what we are brainstorming up about what we're going to be doing to this backyard. It's been a lot of fun working together, but it has been hot and it's been very time consuming. So I'm quite impressed with how I've been able to go at a pretty fast pace. So it's taken a lot to try to work at his pace. So on one hand, I'm doing great, right? Because I have been able to be more active, but it's just a fine balance. And so me sitting down to do some hand applique is the way to go. So I'm going to get these ready, and that's what I'm going to do. I just wanted to say hi to you guys, touch base with you, and, let you know what's going on, let you know about the tabletop, what my dream is for that. If you have any great ideas so that I can DIY how to prop up that other board after I get a piano hinge on it, let me know. I've thought about putting another piano hinge on it, but not at the tip of the other one. Let's see if I can get these pieces of fabric off here. Like, say this is the other board and there's a piano hinge here, that it would lift up, and say there's a piano hinge here. So it would be hinged like that. And the other side of the hinge can open up and use that to prop it. And it would be used almost like an easel to help prop it up. Because then you could put some slits in this back piece back here that would hold the other side of that hinge. So it would kind of prop it up like that. Because I don't need it to be like this, just not where I have to lean over. That would harm me, and I do not want to get back on the operating table. If I ever have to go back and have anything else fused again, I know that I have to go through an ordeal with an allergic reaction to that hardware, and then we have to time it just right to get that hardware back out. So it's 2 surgeries, and it's an unpleasant session of an allergic reaction during that time. So I would do what I can to, whatever it is, to avoid getting on that operating table again. We'll get this table raised up. You guys, I hope this motivates you to take care of what you need to in your life. Look at whatever it is. I may have a unique situation here of loose ligaments or ligaments that are almost completely useless. But you may have a herniated disc, you may have a slipped disc, something along those lines. But we're all, where's my phone? We're all doing this, right? We're all looking down at our phones, or we're looking down at our computers, or we're looking into our sewing machine, or we're looking over in a project of some kind. That's not good for your neck either. Maybe it's something else, I don't know. But hopefully my sharing all of this and telling you the precautions I'm taking will help you too. I hope it will help motivate you to lean in to something to kind of improve your studio space so it's more ergonomic for you as well. This stuff matters as we get older. And okay, I'm hopping off the soapbox on that one. I am going to get my pieces together and go sit down. It's about to rain again. We have been in a monsoon season, it feels like. I think for 2 weeks now. It has rained like every day. I think that's why Ruby was trying to get my attention. She was trying to tell me, hey, the outside is getting dark and it's not dark time. All right, my friends, that's it for this video. Thank you so very much for all your patience with me. I will get stronger. I'll get peppier. I'll get more prolific. But until then, please consider sending in your projects and letting me do a feature on you like I did on Cheri. I love sharing you guys with each other. It means so much to me. It's kind of what I did professionally before I started doing the YouTube channel. I was a personal historian. And before that, I was a publisher of some magazines that helped to connect people. It helped to support the community. And right now we've got a quilting community, and I want you all to get connected. And I know there's other ways to do it. You know, we can all talk to each other on Facebook and do the things like that, but I'm not at the point where I can really multitask well enough to do Instagram and Facebook. I try to do it some before the surgery, and I'll get back to it. But what I really would want to do is I want to share each of you with you. So please send in, if somebody reach out to me, lakesideqma@gmail.com. Send me pictures of any of your projects. Tell me a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your story of how you got started, why you got started, what your obstacles are or were, how you overcame them, anything, as long as it's your story. I just want to honor all of you who are pushing through all the frustrations and all of the setbacks and making beautiful things in spite of it all. All right, my friends, we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.